Now, one thing that we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Oh, we at least know about this because it's a big story with us and the University of Wisconsin suing us. I know Shay, you wrote a story for the paper about
Yes.
this. Do you think that there's any concern about this at all for Miami, or is it maybe it will set a precedent on something?
I think there are real. No, I don't. I'm not in the minds of the people who are looking at this lawsuit. I don't think Miami has yet to make a full statement on it yet. But I think there are real concerns I would have just for like the future of college football, given how the flip of why am I blanking on his name? Um, Sorry, what was it?
I can't think of
Xavier Lucas. Xavier
that's
Lucas.
that's
Yes,
his name. Yep.
how he flipped, I think there are concerns about, if you don't know, he didn't actually enter the portal because Wisconsin wouldn't enter him this portal, which understandable if I'm a guy who wants to transfer that a team won't let me officially enter. He unenrolled from Wisconsin, then enrolled at Miami, which like that creates a tricky loophole for teams to look at in the years to come. I mean, the NCAA looked at it and they released a statement saying we really can't do anything about that. And so I think that's something they're going to have to figure out with the NCAA. In terms of long-term ramifications for Miami, there's year in year out. There's always rumors about teams leaving. I mean, especially now we feel if there's a big movement all the years, I mean, a couple of years ago. I mean, not even a couple of years ago, with all the Pac-12 teams leaving. There's always rumors about the ACC buyouts. I think were being talked about the other week, where a team like Miami might want to get that Big Ten money, and this is not a great start on relations with them. If you're Miami and you want to look at the Big Ten potentially to move to. So yeah, it's more of a ramifications on. I would be worried about it in terms of the whole future of college football is like using that loophole. And I would worry about it if you're Miami trying to eventually make a move out of the conference and your reputation and stuff like that. Because in the lawsuit, I believe, I read a little bit of it. It did mention a potential second player. Now, these are allegations. Obviously, there's yet to be proof, and the trial I don't believe the trial has even started on that. So we will see how it progresses and if these allegations happen to be true with against the program. But as of right now, there are genuine concerns I would have, kind of how teams are navigating the portal because it's especially with NIL, it's such a system where it's very new for a lot of people. I mean, Miami even got the worst of it when Jim Larinaga retired because he's like, I can't deal with people asking for contracts to stay. And so I think it's so new to all these coaches and all these teams. Like certain teams don't really know how to handle it, and I think Miami could also be lose some prospects because of it. And if teams are handing out contracts underneath the table, and then it's talking to teams between when they're not supposed to, so there's a lot of stuff that goes into that lawsuit that I think are worrisome for Miami and for the whole college football. If teams continue to go that route of getting players to unroll and then rolling, and then immediately being able to play. Like I think that's a genuine concern. But outside of that, I believe Lucas's lawyer said he's going to play for Miami. We're excited to have him. Should be a great player. I looked at his history. I mean, he had a pretty solid freshman year where he was, worked his way into a starter as at that Wisconsin DB spot. So should be solid for Miami once he steps onto the field. And I mean, talking about it, bolstering that secondary, bolstering that defense is going to be so important for the Canes this year.
Yeah. About Lucas, I do think my only I'm only not I only have wouldn't be concerned as much about the Lucas stuff only because this stuff is happening all the time. The transfer portal is the wild wild west. You people are recruiting guys right now while they're committed to other schools. People are still making contacts consistently to these guys before they enter the portal. No matter before they enter the portal, while they're still at school, we're seeing that everywhere. These are all stuff that has been happening over the course of the last year. So if Miami were to get reprimanded for it, I think that's absurd. If Miami were to
Oh,
be the
100%. I 100% agree. I mean,
you know what, they get the slot, they get the one that loses money. They're the ones that get penalized for it. Like, what are we doing here?
yeah,
Why are we the ones that get targeted when this is happening every single day at every
yeah.
single university on a consistent basis? Doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense. So that's why I wouldn't be concerned about that point. But you are right with the Big Ten. You would like to have good relations with them. I do. I would like to, in the event that the ACC would maybe dissolve, I would like to have good relations with the Big Ten or the Big 12. I would have, so obviously that part isn't as enjoyable, but come on, this is stuff that's happening on a daily basis. I think in terms of the ramifications, I don't think it'll be at that severe. So I think that I don't know. I just don't. I can't imagine Miami being the one that faces all the drama, all the trouble, all the issues, unless it sets a major precedent for years to come. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't know.
It's yeah. This is like, I mean, it's been a loophole that you could technically use any time in the portal, and really, it's like the first time, just because team wouldn't put their player in the portal.
Yeah,
Like no money had been paid
fantastic
out to
loophole.
Lucas
I'll say
yet.
that. Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest thing about this whole thing is that Lucas hadn't been paid any money. Wisconsin was waiting for kind of the House v NCAA case to end for them to start kind of paying out the money. And so, like, it's not like you hadn't paid the player any. I know they wanted him to kind of be a cornerstone, and they valued him very highly, but that's just kind of how the transfer portal works at this point in time. It's like you just said, it's the Wild Wild West. These type of things happen. You can't go boo. To be a little, not to be as harsh, but boo-hoo. I don't want to
Yeah,
be too
you're
mean,
right.
but
You're
you know
absolutely
what I'm
right.
saying.
Yeah, I mean, because look, Xavier Lucas not going to Miami or getting tampered with allegedly is not, it's not a first time. It happens on a daily basis. The concern, I guess, would be is that Wisconsin tried standing their ground and they refused to put him in the portal and they didn't let him get in the portal. So Lucas just unenrolled and enrolled in Miami. So
Yeah,
it worked out for us. I'm not complaining. I love Xavier Lucas. I think he's gonna be an awesome player to the team. I think that this whole situation is dumb, and I think that and it's setting up. If it sets a precedent, I would love to see what the precedent is. I just would find it shocking if we were the ones to get
yeah.
reprimanded.
I think it's more. I think there's more smoke than a fire here. Where
Yeah,
I think they're standing the ground so they can send a message. They seem to have the Big Ten support behind them, which, like I said, in terms of having a good relationship with the Big Ten, not the best for Miami, but I don't think it's too much of a problem. It's going to be too much of a problem moving forward.